Hi guys, welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the custom tactics I use for the 4-1-4-1 formation. And it's actually quite an interesting formation to use because you can really like press well with the formation because you have like those front five players who I usually press with all of them. I just let the CDM and the defense stay back. And then it's also really nice going forward because you have the width, but you also have a lot of players who can get into the box because again you have those five offensive players. Here you can see the tactics I use. So yeah, both the wingers are on cut inside, come back on defense, and get into the box for the cross. The fullbacks are on overlap. The right center mid is on get forward, free roam, and cover center. The left center mid is on get into the box and cover center, and the striker is just on drift wide. So, depending on your striker, you will play a little differently. I will show you here with Calvert-Lewin up front, how I play with Calvert-Lewin up front, and how I play with Werner up front. But for now, Werner is going to start off on the wing. I do swap Lorente and Acuna in game, and your left center mid, even though like he's not on get forward, he will be a very big goal threat, as you see in this video, because he'll be making a lot of late runs into the box, and he'll probably be unmarked. And the whole point of using a striker on drift wide also is so that when your striker drifts wide, he pulls out the opposition centre backs. You don't really need like a lot of fast players in your team, but it's always helpful to have a fast back line, especially when you're playing with like 7-8 depth. And also for your wingers to get in behind, it definitely helps. You also need to be looking for overlapping runs from your fullbacks because that happens a lot. You can see we win the ball back and we get the ball out to Mukiele. You can see even though he's a fullback, how advanced of a position he's in. And we kind of messed that up there, but we win the ball back pretty fast here. Here you can see this kind of quick passing play which you can do, and that was kind of risky, but if you use those double A passes, they're less likely to intercept it. And you can see how fast we're trying to move the ball out wide because there's so much space out wide, and we saw that pass too late, and we tried crossing it, sweating it over that to our striker, but he was offside. Again, you can see I'm just doing skill moves, waiting for Mukiele to. Okay, that was technically an underlapping run, but basically make the run past Felix. Now we're playing the ball out from the back, which is quite important. Like you'll if you just if you're a little patient, you'll see a lot of space open up when you're using this formation because it's so wide that someone is bound to be free. And you can see here how from that congested press, which the press this year is really good. So it's important to be able to beat it. And you can see here we kind of overworked it there with Acuna. We shouldn't have done that fake shot. We still get the ball back and we're still playing. There, I would have probably tried sending it across to DCL with Lorente, but that was his weak foot. I didn't think he would give that good of a cross. But here we keep working the ball around the box until we get that shot off. It's really like easy to work the ball around the box with this formation because again, that those 4 or 5 players around the box is so nice to have. I do this quite often with this formation. Like I use those custom runs to make the wingers cut inside so I can overload the other side, or just so that they're making runs that the opponent can't track properly. Here you can see we scored our first goal with DCL. Again, it's that cut inside run from the winger and just a lot of passing around the box. I also do these quite often, these switches of play, and they're not always directly because my players can't pass that well. Like they don't have that good passing stats, so I usually do use a few passes to move the ball across the pitch. But sometimes, as you saw there, it does work. We did lose the ball, but we end up winning it back fairly quickly. Again, this our central CDM is very important. You need one who has good passing because, like you see, he should be the guy you can always pass back to, who can like spread the ball. Yeah, here you can see we get the ball back with Mukiele, and we give it there to Kramaric. That player is probably the most important player in the team, the right center mid, because he can really like you have to use him to move the ball forward when passing options aren't available. Now you can see some nice interplay, and see that you saw DCL drop off. He pulled out a centre back, and Kramaric was in so much space, and he managed to get a really good shot off. And we gave away a really dumb penalty. I don't know what I was thinking there, sliding from that angle. thinking that there would be any different outcome. But fortunately, we do end up saving it. Now I'll show you what having a striker on just like having a more mobile striker who can also pass better. It's like because one big problem with Calvert Lewin is his passing, and you'll see this instantly when we sub on Werner. I mean, not sub on Werner. When we move Werner to striker, we instantly get make a goal out of it. Because look there on that drift wide run, he pulls out Manolas, who was his right centre back. So now there's no one in space. Obviously, better players would switch over and try not doing that, but it will always create space because even for just a second, if they track Werner's run, that takes a second longer for them to get back in position. Now you can see another goal for Werner with the. Oh no, that was Acuna. Yeah, see, you can see Acuna has 2 goals and he's supposed to be a more defensive centre mid. Yeah, that was foolish of me to give the ball away and we concede a goal. And also, I shouldn't have. That's an example of how you shouldn't defend because you shouldn't bring your centre backs out because you're playing such a high line and there's no one to cover if you do. You can see we moved the ball from right to left fairly quickly. And again, we move it back there to the right. A lot of one-touch passes. So that like I didn't mean for the ball to go there, but then you can end up like conceding opportunities because of missed passes like that. So you have to be careful. I wanted it to go to the centre mid, not to the CDM. Now you can see again because of Werner drifting wide, we ended up getting a shooting opportunity. Again, you can see that winger on the cut inside run, and we just moved the ball to the right, and he had an easy assist there. You should always look for like space like that because even like Werner was completely free, he was completely unmarked, so he was a good passing option there. And now Acuna ends up making the run, even though he's not on get forward or anything. We get a little lucky that to keep the ball, but yeah, so yeah, even though he wasn't on get forward or anything, he did end up keeping the ball, and we end up getting a shot off there with Werner, but little wide. I think this is the last goal we score, or is it not? Yeah, again, you can see that overlapping run there with the fullback. That's very important because if he brings his fullback to cover your winger, then there's so much space for your fullback to exploit. And we end up getting a shot off there, but obviously not good enough. Yeah, and this is a goal we'd score with Kramaric. Does that 1-2 with Felix, wins a 50-50 there with the fullback. He uses good strength. He has like really good strength. Then we switch the ball to a strong foot, get the finesse shot, and the goalkeeper doesn't even flinch. And that's about it for the gameplay. So as you could see, like the build-up play is all about getting the ball wide. We'll just go through the stats first. So yeah, you can see that like everyone in the team and that front five will contribute to goals. You won't just be getting goals out of a striker and a certain player. So as you could see that because it's always better to have a mobile striker because we did end up playing a lot better when we took Calvert-Lewin off. And your left centre mid should be able to shoot. You can't just have a defensive player. You need someone who can shoot. Someone who's preferably big so he can win headers. Your CDM should be someone who can pass well and is kind of agile so he can move around quickly and like do a few skill moves like Kovacic. Your right centre mid is basically a cam and he doesn't need the most pace. Like Kramaric doesn't have that much pace. Your right winger and your left winger can be like basically they just need to be wingers. It's useful that they have pace, but like I mean 80 plus pace is a minimum, but they can always do with a little like just 80 pace. Or I would always have like one really fast player in your team though. Fullbacks again all you need is pace. Crossing is also a good thing to have, and dribbling as well. Centre backs, like I said, it's always better if you have fast centre backs. That's probably the most important position to have pace in my opinion. Goalkeeper, there's nothing much to talk about there. So yeah guys, that's about it for the video I think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.